But Yu Xin can't bear it. But she is busy dealing with Shun Wu's Jiban. The storm is coming, and Xiaozhi is full of joy. As the saying goes, the greater the hope, the greater the disappointment. When you hear the voice of a stranger, no matter what Xiaozhi says, you won't let Jiban go. Xiaozhi, who broke into the door, is angry like a tiger. Even though there are tens of millions of dissatisfaction, Shun Wu, who has strong strength, can always protect Jiban. I just want to say that Jiban, the master of the harem, is doing really well. However, after losing to Xiaozhi, Shun Wu's attitude has changed. Pay attention to the blonde girl in front of you. She gently holds Jiban's hand, introducing the transformation plan of the White Master. She is gentle, but you can't imagine it. In fact, all this is just an illusion. Because the next second, suddenly, Jiban blinks. An uneasy emotion floods the heart. The woman's arrogant expression shows for no reason. She is a beautiful girl who is not easy to provoke. However, when Jiban summons the White Master, yes, you are right, she is more excited. After a brief flash of light, the yellow pig appears in the world. This is a special machine gun in Taiwan. Thanks to the intense intensity of its armor, the girl makes the world feel sad. The all-rounder design is the charm of the yellow pig. But the girl doesn't seem to know that Jiban is a complete Iron Man. How can she appreciate this beauty? Jiban doesn't want her to suffer, but as a member of an evil organization, the girl's toughness is far beyond Jiban's imagination. The front of the machine gun makes the shield fly down rapidly. Jiban releases the electronic interference smoke, which opens the distance from the girl. Then she changes the way and gets shit. With such a tough brother, Jiandong is very arrogant. I have no choice but to let the teacher inform the harem immediately. Let them all go to the changing room to help Jiban. At the same time, Jiban's situation is quite different. The dare to attack the yellow pig from the front is really hopeless. However, when she knows that the pig is too powerful, everything is too late. The girl can finally achieve her goal as she wished. That is to take away the core of the White Lion. In fact, this familiar scene is not the first time. It was also the evil organization that kidnapped Jiban and let Jiandong miss the final. However, the angry Jiban went to the endless world. It seems that the destruction has been settled, but it seems that it has not. Because Senior Shun Wu came. I just didn't expect that. As the president of the student union, Shun Wu was killed on the spot after a photo was taken. Jiban can't accept this ending. But how could the senior be so reckless? A split body with a water painting gives the girl a low position. I am invincible in the domain. With the scattering of water paintings around, the energy of Yuan is constantly used by Shun Wu. It's useless to attack her. The yellow pig suddenly found that this was not an ordinary water painting. But how could she be willing to lose to this little girl? A move that makes the East win and the West win. Without any hesitation, after the output, when the smoke dispersed, Shun Wu lost the protection of Is. The power of the hand without absorption is spread all over the body by the pig. However, when the yellow pig wanted to kill Shun Wu, a smile flashed past. The ending actually reversed. It turned out that the fog that had never dissipated in history was the nanotechnology of Shun Wu. At the same time, Jiban suddenly made a shallow attack, but when he was going to chase the yellow pig, a new enemy appeared. How strong is the girl too? Make Jiban so embarrassed that she was attacked by a cannon? In addition to this, when facing the heavy harem, the girl did not fall at all. In the past, Laura's forbidden domain was like a paper fox in front of her. This is the fact that Laura does not want to accept. If it were not for the girl to receive the order to retreat, I'm afraid that no one would be able to subdue her. It's just that I didn't expect that there was a song of Otto Renliu. The lost core yellow pig rushed to the crowd. He intended to destroy all the harems. The girl's name is Jibanuan. Judging from the current situation, she is not welcome in the team. If it weren't for the big sister to come out and host the scene, the ending would be really hard to expect. But in fact, she didn't care about this. because at this moment she only has revenge in her eyes. In the era when Qiandong swept the arena, there were too many people who couldn't get used to it. For this, they used the Genito successfully create, Jibanuan. But if you want to use Jibanuan to eradicate Qiandong, you have to solve it first. There is always a crisis at night. The turbulent storm caused Laura to be late. But how could Laura forget that she is not her opponent? Fortunately, IU lured more people to help her. Laura didn't make too many moves. It's just that it's hard to help everyone. The big sister knew about this. The big sister warned that she was not allowed to make any extra moves. But at the moment when she and herself were subdued, Laura also made a countermeasure. As long as the big sister dared to do it, she knew the consequences. But there was something unexpected. The team eliminated Qiandong's desire. Without the protection of IS, Qiandong is easy to deal with in the big sister's eyes. But Laura's attitude was like this. Don't underestimate me. I'm not as good as you. At the same time, the IS school was in the lead this time. The big sister was thinking about the reason that was engraved in Qiandong's brain. The big sister didn't understand. When Qiandong was exposed, the big sister still wanted to know if there were other families. Suddenly, the scene was calm. But Qiandong definitely told the big sister that there was no one. It seems that only the big sister can find out about the origin of the big sister. Look at the girl who is busy working. She hasn't slept for 3 days. She just wanted to surpass her big sister. But the fact in front of her was not satisfactory. The big sister is the strongest existence of Ice School, and she is not a robot. She still has to rest. But the girl didn't know that. In fact, my sister has always been very fond of her, and she couldn't bear to see her own sister go on like this. So such a scene happened. Please take care of my sister. My sister's name is More 13, although her temper is a bit low, but she can learn ace a national representative student, and she definitely has a strong ability. But because of the sudden intervention of White, people who were originally in the R&D 3 special machine were sent by the superiors to develop White. So this time the school held a wrestling match. Shun Wu asked Jiban to cooperate with his sister a little, to ease the mood of Zhan. Although Jiban half pushed and half said yes, but Shun Wu still had some concerns, because his relationship with his sister was not very good. If it was possible, Shun Wu would prefer Jiban to persuade his sister in a natural way, but Jiban was in trouble afterwards. Faced with Lala's partner's application request, the refusal to speak out hurt the hearts of the three, and the scene of Lala's anger was about to go out of control. The arrival of Qiandong scared Jiban, but since the harem had already known the situation, Jiban could come to find Zhan. Passing through the last row of the classroom, Gang 13 was adjusting the mechanical data, and Jiban's sudden interruption made Zhan very uncomfortable. He didn't take action because he was too tired, and he also longed for a brave man to appear to save himself from danger. If only I didn't have a weapon, I would have caught up with you. I want to see your special weapon. In fact, I want to say that this slap was not wrong, but when I returned to the dormitory, Gang 13 was depressed, and he didn't expect that he really beat Jiban. The picture turned to the training ground for a day, and after his endless efforts, Zhan began to drive the Datai No. 2 to take the first flight. The clear weather meant success, but when he tried to accelerate, Thinjin suddenly broke down. Looking at the appearance of all kinds of warning boxes on the screen, Zhan could not control the mechanical armor. He saw that the school was about to crash, and his sister would go far away from him forever. Zhan regretted his incompetence from the bottom of his heart, but at this critical moment, the brave man came. Jiban grabbed Zhan by the collar. Although he was in pain, Jiban was more worried about Zhan. Pay attention to the girl in front of him. At this moment, she is dating with the boy, and she easily shows a shy expression. They look like a couple. Not only during the class, only the boy was in a daze. Suddenly, a warm breeze broke into the girl's world, and she recalled her confused life. In fact, this is not what she wanted. She also hoped that there would be a brave man around her like in the anime, leading her from darkness to light. And now the brave man has appeared. It was a moment of hope for the girl, and a moment of motivation for the girl to move forward. Maybe there are times when she can't solve the problem. From another perspective, it looks like a simple game. Since the firepower of Da-Ti number 2 is not enough, as a person with advanced mechanics, it is not the first time to deal with this problem. Looking at the girl who cares so much about Hiron affairs, the girl suddenly lost her mind. She proposed to the mechanic to help her. It's just that it's getting late today, so let's go home for now. But at this moment, the girl blushed and said, but at that moment she didn't understand what it meant. The girl who could only stay in the room asked herself, is this the so-called love? The picture turned to the early morning of the first month. The mechanic, under the invitation of Da-Ti number 2, came out of the cave to help adjust Da-Ti number 2. Don't look at how stupid he is sometimes. There are so many girls around him, but he doesn't know anything like a fool. But this time, for the girl's matter, I have to say that he is really sincere, because this time, he is the blood of the family. He took himself out as a bargaining chip. He didn't mention it when he was repairing it. After work, he promised to ask for a date. Where can you find such a good boy? Anyway, the hard work pays off. After a busy day, wipe your forehead and sweat. Look at the new Da-Ti number 2 in front of you. Obviously, the ending is good. This time, the modification not only perfected Da-Ti number 2, more importantly, it solved the girl's problem. The girl thanked all the mechanics, but, in fact, she wanted to thank you more. It was the sudden appearance that changed everything. She knows this better than anyone else. It was she who led herself out of the dark. After that, the girl specially took the pastries to make up for it. But at this time, the girl saw her sister appear here. Although she didn't understand why she was here, but the girl didn't care about the situation in her heart. However, when she heard all the mechanical data from her sister, the girl's heart is as if she had been hit by a heavy hammer and was in pain. Think back to the happy moments with her. The girl's love in her heart is like a cake. Fall into the endless cold wind, the picture turns around. In the dark room, there is only a girl who is exhausted. She is crying for love. It makes her too painful. The girl cried her eyes out, because she really can't accept it. It turns out that everything she got, the beautiful life she longed for, it's all because of her own hate.